Next game, we have a men's game now. We have Bamble against Tricksters. I'm not sure what the actual tie this one's for. Is it for 5th or 6th? We might find out. We'll do some research and let you know.
A my jsme, kámo, my jsme od tebe 6, ne, my jsme tam byli 9, kámo. A my jsme zakopli od ten barner.
No, I'm one year.
Víte, co mě úplně nechápá? Kámo, ten DJ na tebe neskočil na záchod, připravili si to.
The Tricksters starting well. They've had a shot that's gone wide, but they've backed it up and they keep the ball.
Number 18 with a nice sidearm shot that went about 45 kilometers right of the cage. Just keeping everybody on their toes, saying, listen, you don't know where, if I don't know where my shot's going, you definitely don't.
That seems to be my my philosophy too when I play. But a great save. Fairly simple really. It went kind of stick high, easy save, and there's a great transition. They've cleared it out very quickly, got it to a short stick. He brings it over into the attacking half. And let's see what Bamble are going to do. Oh, so great. The stick out on the defender. He just brings the ball down. Unfortunately not to win the ground ball, but they might get it anyway. Seems like no one wants the ball today. White come up with it. Orange come up with it. It is pure chaos.
From the women's game to this men's game.
Oh, it's like a whole different... This is intense.
Noticeably sloppy stick work right off the bat, which again, I will attribute a lot of that to it being Sunday and it being hot.
It is very hot here. Everyone is well hydrated with beer. But there's still some good stick work going on. White are trying to make something happen, but a great check by Orange, brings the ball down, and they get the turnover, and it goes back to the goalie, and they're going to go for a slow clear here. Some really good work by both defenses to just turn over the ball. No real chances yet so far.
Well, it's one of those things where coming out of the gates, everybody's excited, everybody's ready to play a little game of lacrosse. Who's going to calm down, take a deep breath, make an efficient pass, make a good pass, slow it down. Whoever's going to slow it down and kind of get back to the basics almost of not being a complete gong show is certainly going to come out, with a lead at the beginning of the game. Right now, it's just everybody's too excited and throwing the ball all over the field.
Absolutely. It feels like the occasion has definitely got to both of these teams. They're really kind of going a bit too much. Oh, it's going to be an over and back, potentially. Yep, there is an over and back. Orange might pick it up for the fast break. He's ahead of a man. He ignores the feed. Is that in? Oh, it's in. The goalie almost made the save, but it just went in. A great goal on the fast break. That really came from that turnover. That poor pass led to an over and back. The guy with the ball did really well. You could see most guys might go for the feed there, but he almost put the defender off by faking that feed, beating him for pure acceleration and speed, and putting it away.
That's what I loved about that play right there, is that he picked up the ground ball, and in 3 or 4 steps, he created separation from his defenseman that allowed him to go get a great shot on cage. Placed it well enough to get a goal, but just the fact that when you hustle through those ground balls, it will create opportunities. He didn't scoop up the ground ball and then say like, I got the ball, now I'm good. He scooped it up, ran right towards the cage, and resulted in a goal.
Yeah, he had the momentum. When you pick it up and you run through the ball, and this is what coaches always tell you, as any kind of player, you need to run through that ball and get out of dodge. You need to move. And Tricksters have come up with the ball again. Oh, it's an unfortunate pass, a bit low, but there's a late hit. Is there going to be a flag? No. Looks like nothing. It's just going to be a turnover.
Now, there's a difference between a late hit that's intentional and a late hit just because you're old and you can't stop your momentum. If you're running towards a guy and you just can't stop, it looked like that was a bit of a scenario number 2. The train couldn't get off the tracks, knocked him down, but both of them got back up, gave a little handshake as we see a turnover. But, might have gotten him right where you don't want to get hit.
We got a flag down. There's going to be a slash. Maybe even another one. I would have thrown a flag there, but there's only going to be one flag. It's probably going to be a first slash. There was an immediate turnover after White won the ball, and they clearly weren't happy about it because they were taking out their anger on that guy.
And I will say, I don't pretend to be the toughest guy, but if you're going to go and get hit and pretend like you just got shot by a sniper, toughen up a little bit, 13.
Yeah, you got to keep on running. You got to keep moving. I don't know why the whistle's gone already because they still had the ball.
Maybe in the crease?
Potentially. So White, number 3, going in the box for a slash, takes the 1-minute penalty. That was a big slash. But, let's see what Tricksters can do with the man-up possession.
A bit of a 3-3 set here. Wow. And that'll do.
That was very easy. I mean, they made it look easy. I tell you, on the field, when you play that, it's not always the easiest thing to do, but they just found that inside man on GLE, and he just was able to get a step in. I feel like maybe Bamble just weren't awake. They weren't ready for that man-down situation and weren't getting out on that zone.
No, when you play man-down defense, you got to be ready for quick rotations because again, it's a 5-on-6, so you got to accept responsibility, maybe slide across the crease. I don't know what system they were playing because they did two things. They simply didn't move, which is the wrong thing to do. But also, I'd like to call out that was a low-angle shot, and when you're on man-down, sometimes it's not about playing great. It's about preventing the easy chance. So if I'm the Tricksters, I'm saying hey, maybe that low angle shot's good, maybe it's not, but we got to do better rotating next time.
I mean, it was well placed. It was low angle, but he placed that right in that corner. We had a turnover on that face-off. There was a push by Owen, so the ball went White, and a little scrum. There was a push in the back, so the ball has gone to White. But like you say, you've got to prevent those shots, and I find that a lot of times teams play zone. They become more passive in defense. When man on man, they're riding, they're hitting, they're getting those checks in. Yet in zone, they just kind of stop. But a great check from Orange, but White still comes up with the ball. He's taken a few hits, but he's kept the ball well and passed it on. Always essential when you've made that dodge. Pass that ball on and get it moving. You don't want to be holding on to that ball for too long.
No, especially after number 20 drew that double. As soon as a defenseman commits to you, that's when you got to get it out of your stick. I will say credit to him for keeping possession after dropping it. But no need to take that 2 or 3 extra checks. Just get it out of your stick. The defense is prepared to handle your dodge. For me personally, it was always about pain avoidance. And anytime I knew I wasn't going to be a threat, I'm not willing to take that extra hit because I'm soft. I didn't want to boo-boo.
Yeah, I mean, no one wants to. I kind of don't mind it. I kind of wear it as a badge of honor. There was a good outside shot there from White, but it's way over the bar. But they backed it up, done the fundamentals right, and kept the ball.
Well, it was that shot too. Is now the defense knows that he's willing to take that shot. So even though it was 100 miles over the cage, now the defense has to go, hey, that guy's going to shoot it, and you have to respect it.
And that's the nature of the game. It's those ebbs and flows where you're giving them things to think about. You're saying, oh, look, I can shoot outside, I can dodge, I can do this or that, and the defense has to react to it. And then from that, they change their structure, and you can create more opportunities. So it's not always just about making every chance a goal. It's about getting that defense to think about what you're doing as an offensive unit. It's about getting them to do more and move more. The key thing in offense is you want to unsettle that defense. So the more you can do to do that, the better. If you just pass it around, you don't cause any threats, that defense is going to be happy. Orange are bringing it around now. There is a loose ball. It is on the ground. Let's see who's going to come up with it. It is an absolute scrum in there. White comes up with the ball. Great little pickup from number 3 for Bamble. He launches it upfield. The pole just can't quite get on it, and the ball is running loose, but he still manages to come up with it. He looks for the feed, but it's a great interception from Orange, who just gets enough on that ball to make it difficult for White to pick up. But they keep the ball. He took away the threat for now, but that was a great little check. Always important to keep the sticks high. We had a pole shot there. The pole is just happy chilling in attack. takes a shot. We love to see it.
And it still feels almost a little bit more chaotic than it should. I'd like to see one of these offenses, as speaking of chaos, he just takes a left-handed shot. Wild, just a bit outside.
Just a bit. That was miles away. That was in the next country. I think we were in Slovenia at that point. Yeah, that was nowhere ever going to go in. I mean, it was stick high as well. Even if it was on target, you're going to struggle to get that in. They need some higher percentage shots.
And some more off-ball movement. It seems like a lot of these teams are just saying, like, hey, number 20, good job. But you see a lot of guys kind of standing around, which allows the defense to get their sticks in the lane like we just saw right there.
Absolutely. And I have to say, Tricksters are doing great at getting their sticks in that lane. They are not making passes easy. A few times, Barnball have tried to make those skip passes, and they are hitting defensive sticks. They are coming down onto the floor, and it's causing ground balls. Even though they're coming up with it, they're not making it easy to get a chance and a shot off. Let's see what they do here. They're looking for a dodge up top. They're setting a pick. He's dodging in. Number 20 gets a shot off, but a great save by the goalie. He just keeps his body close to the near post, gets his stick down, and a great save, and now he's on the clear.
And a tough angle for number 20 right there. Even though that pick was effective in getting some space, by the time he shot, the goalie had a decent position on that near pipe and was taking up about 90% of the cage right there. Maybe that next opportunity becomes a pass to the backside or something like that. I will say a decent shot, but an easier save for the goalie than maybe Bramble would have liked.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about. You've got to get those higher percentage shots, and you've got to really work the goalie and not go for those tight angles all the time. You see some success when it's, I think, on a fast break especially, where you can get those low angles, but on a subtle play like that, the keeper's got time to set himself. It's always going to be a difficult shot to make. Maybe he could have gone far post, and maybe he could have placed it better, but again, like you say, it's very difficult on the run, off the pick, very crowded, and really not many options for him to actually make a passing play. And maybe that's something for Barnball to work on. A great shot there from Tricksters, but it's gone way out of the field. That ball is gone. It's a home run.
Tipped right off of the goalie's helmet, and I hope that there's not a dent on the car on the far side. But honestly, a pretty sneaky good look. They kind of caught the defense sleeping on that approach right there as number 18 gets ready to take this dodge. See if he ends up shooting it. But
there's some nice looking on that inside. Every time they get on that, just to the left of the goal, they are catching that ball and ready to be a threat very quickly. Or there might be an over and back here. It is an over and back.
And just not a good pass right there. I mean, when you throw a skip pass, one of the things that you want to do is know your level of stick skills. You want to set your feet, pass it, have your eyes, have your hands. His momentum was taking him away from the pass, and that was the reason why it went over. He needed to set his feet and throw a dart instead of just throwing a lob pass off of his back foot. Absolutely.
You've got to make sure those passes hit, because it's unnecessary for those kind of turnovers. They're unforced, It's like in tennis, right? It's those unforced errors. You don't want to be making them. We have a shot. It's a bit better this time than the last few shots. It's bottom left, but again wide. There's not many shots on target besides that one low angle. They need to really start getting some higher quality chances. They're almost rushing with the first opportunity they have than getting a good one. A great save there. I mean, it was a good look, but still very far out, easy for the goalie, and straight in on the side. We've got 2 minutes left in this game as Tricksters bring it out. He has dropped it, so there might be another turnover, and there is. But you have to say, Barnball have really got to look for those higher percentage shots.
They do, and one of the things that I've noticed is on those low percentage shots, I don't mind that they're missing the cage, but it should be setting up something else. Like if you're going to take a bad shot to make the defense respect you as a shooter, then you need to switch it up and get more inside. Get to that either crease or top center. You need to have more of the goal to aim at. Right now, they're low percentage shots because they're closer to GLE than they are the middle of the field. I want to see them take some of those middle of the field shots right down 90 degrees facing towards the goal.
Yeah, it's like you want to be in that fan. Like in the women's game, obviously, you have the fan. In men's, even though it's not there as a line, that area is the danger zone, and you want to be in that danger zone to make those shots, because that's the main way you're going to score 90% of the time. Yeah, you might get a low angle, but you really want those kind of shots in that area where it's super dangerous and the defense have to respect you.
And the interesting part, too, is I don't think either defense is doing a great job of preventing them from getting to those dangerous spots. I just think it's impatience on the offense. Or, maybe not even impatience, just, the wide eyes is thinking that it's going to be a good shot as we see a low-angle shot again.
Another low angle, but it was a great opportunity. The defender lost his stick. He beat his man, drew the slide, fed it on just slightly off the goal on GLE. And he had a left-hand shot. Tried to wrap it around the goalie, but I think the goalie made a good stop. And we have a slash. Number 3 for White has a penalty, a 1-minute slash. So Orange are a man up. Although there was a loose ball, they've kept it for now. So see if they can actually take advantage of this man-up situation. Again, it seems like they've been very impatient. And I think we have half-time. So half-time here, and the score is 2-0. There's 40 seconds left on the penalty for the slash. It is 2-0 to the Tricksters. And a good game so far.
I'd say that it's a pretty interesting game. I would say that the chaos of the first 5 minutes of every lacrosse game, because they're excited, because everyone's fired up, that it's the third place game, it's taken a long time, and I will say I still don't think it's out of their system. I want a team to settle in, and I want to see an off-ball cut on offense, whether that's on the crease, whether that's up top. I really just feel like it's still a little frantic, it's still a little panicked, a little rushed, and the first team that dodges, draws a slide, and then passes it, which is lacrosse 101. You teach that almost in the first couple days of lacrosse, is you dodge your guy. The first dodge might not be the best dodge, and I'm curious who's going to dodge, move it, have some off-ball action, because the defenses are getting bailed out by sloppy stick work and panicked decisions. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I've got to say there's been a real lack of composure from both teams when going forward. All over the pitch there's a lack of composure. They're not clearing it as cleanly as we've seen in other games in this tournament. They're just, and a lot of the shots have been wild and not really threatening at all. The goalies have had a fairly easy job on both ends, so it's not been the best. I would say it's not exactly a low standard. It's just been a very limited amount of composure. So hopefully at half-time they've had a chance to talk, get some of the messages out there, and maybe we'll see a bit more settled, composed
and
play.
Man-up's a perfect opportunity to do this too. Is like, listen, when you're man-up, that you need to have ball movement and off-ball cuts. Like, it's not an individual thing. So this is the perfect opportunity for the Tricksters to get the jiggles out as we see it. Not great shot.
No, again, they're just going for the low percentage shot from a good 30 yards out. That's just never, even if it's on target, you can probably say that's never going to go in. That's an easy save for the goalie. Any goalie will tell you, I will take those saves, give them to me every day because I can save those. I've got so much time to see them. Again, they've no patience to just get the ball around and make something work. They made like 2 passes on one side, didn't even go all the way around before taking a shot.
It's just a matter of who's going to, I want to see maybe a specific player step up and take the lead. When you see one of those players maybe in a transition, maybe at the very beginning of an offensive set, kind of push his hands down and just say, hey, guys, let's move the ball around. Let's get it around the horn before we take that initial dodge. That's maybe going to be the difference maker, is who's going to have the player to step up and slow it down.
Yeah, and we have to see who that might be on both teams. There's not been any particular...
20 might here might. I think he's pretty sneaky, a good player. I think that he can be an initiator, and that pass right there, that hopefully sets him up for something in a little bit, so long as this dodge doesn't result in a force like that.
Which it did.
Never mind.
But then the turnover goes straight back. White picks up the pass. Again, sloppy from both teams. Orange got the turnover and gave it away straight away. A double turnover, and it stays White. Poor pass. Somehow it stays in. White keep the ball. They really need to just be a bit more clean. Just do the basics right. Pass the ball around, make some cuts, and make stuff work.
And lacrosse is hard work. You don't just get a good shot because you stepped onto the offensive side of the field and cradled. You need to dodge, pass, move it, off-ball cut, C-cut, anything like that. And what's interesting, too, is I'm watching this. The stick skills are good. Like, it's not the stick skills preventing it. It's not the talent. It's not anything other than just a little patience.
It is all about patience. You know, in this game, you have to be patient. You have to wait for that right opportunity, that really good chance to get a goal. And both teams have been rushing. And then when you aren't patient and you take that high percentage shot, you miss the opportunity to get a better shot. And like here, another goal from way out. We're not playing in the PLL. You don't get 2 points. There's no point taking these shots. You know, it doesn't make a difference whether you shoot from 20 yards or 5 yards if it goes in. Except for the fact that the 20-yard one is less likely to go in. And they're not really finding these shots. I know we both sounded very negative right now, probably. But they're just not making stuff happen.
Well, and the interesting part, too, is like that skip pass was objectively good, but because there wasn't action before that, a low to high skip pass where he had to reach outside of his comfort zone to set up for a shot, that allowed the goalie to get set, allowed him to make a save. As we see a decent dodge here, and that's what I'm looking for. Even though that pass was dropped, I feel like that was good momentum where you run a pick at the top left, you create separation, you get slid to, and you move it. Even though they dropped the ball, I will say that was one of the better offensive sets and offensive motions that I've seen in this game today.
Yeah, that was absolutely the right idea. You do that dodge and a pick, you know, a bit of combination of both. You draw that slide, you draw the defensive movement, and then you pass the ball on instantly is exactly how you make stuff happen. You know, when you're in attack, you want to move that defense. You want to make something happen. And when they have the ball and they make that dodge and they're looking over their shoulder for that pass straight back to where it came from, you're going to make chances. And it was unlucky.
A little too late. Let's do 30 seconds of positivity. Let's
do it. Let's see what's positive.
You kick it off.
I mean, right now, that's a great little split dodge. He's beaten his man. He's passed it on. That is ideal. He's got a shot off. A great save. A bit of a scrum and maybe a push here. But that was a fantastic split dodge. You know, jabbing a step out, putting his defender on the back foot, beating his man, drawing a slide and making a pass very quickly is exactly what you want to do as an offensive player. If you're playing and you know you want to make something happen, a dodge is often one of the best things you can do. If you can beat your man, you've made an opportunity because you've caused a rotation.
And I'll say for my 30 seconds of positivity, I think the individual skill here is fantastic. And I don't know how much these teams train together. I don't know what their practices are. I don't even know if these are the actual teams or if they're just kind of hodgepodge, bunch of players getting together. The individual talent is certainly not lacking. And I'll even start to call out that the defense are doing a good job of recognizing threats and sliding. So number 20 right there, he had to go all the way around, misses his shot because the defense is recognizing threats. I know that we've kind of been critical of the offense, but I think it's time that we recognize that the defense recognizing the threats and sliding to them is preventing this from being a 5-5 game, and instead we find ourselves at 2-0.
Yeah, they're really making it hard for both offensive sets to do anything at all. The slides are there, just double teams there. You got 8-8 or 8-6 there on Orange, the big pole. He is like way out away from his man to be the backup instantly. Like the ball, when the ball is in the other player's stick, and he is just, he's just sagging over so much that even if he beats his man, he's got another massive guy with a pole ready and waiting for him. So really good defense there to kind of game over a little bit. We've got a penalty now. White, we've got a slash. 1 minute in the box for White, so White go a man down. Tricksters now have a chance to do something with a man-up situation.
He's sitting in the box with a smile on his face. We're all having a good time here. As a low-to-low, one-on-one shot on a man-up opportunity, I'm not going to be negative, but I will just call that out as maybe make the pass next time.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to find that inside look. You want to find that really good chance. You've got the man up. You've got to keep passing it. Again, they're going for those outside shots. You want to find that look. It will be there. When you're a man up, if you pass it quick enough, you can find that shot. And they have to try. They have to start trying to find it. Really good sticks there from White to sort of get the ball down, but it stays Orange. a big skip pass. This is what we're talking about. Now we're getting the slick, quick passing. It's an unfortunate drop, but that's exactly what you need. Instant passing. You catch, you go. And on man up, that's exactly what you have to do. So hopefully we'll see some more of this. They are even...
Oh, what a save.
Oh, it was a low angle, but a great save from the goalie to keep that out. And I think he might have been on the crease, and ball goes white.
Well, what's interesting about that is low-angle shots, I don't want to paint with the big brush. Sometimes they're bad. Sometimes they are the good look and they're the right look. That was the right look. He faked low, went high on a low-angle shot where he was one-on-one with the goalie. He didn't have a lot of room because the defense was collapsing. He didn't have a lot of room to get to the crease. So that was the correct shot in that instance, and that's when we give credit to the goalie and say, damn, man, that was just a legitimately good save. You didn't fall for it low. You maintained your position, and a good decision. That was some of the best lacrosse we've seen all game.
It really was. They were moving it quickly. You know, they were making a better chance. And you've got to say, that was much better chance than the outside shots they've been taking. Oh, it looks like we're going over and back. That is so unfortunate. So sloppy, so unfortunate, but it is an over and back. Orange get the ball, and they might look to fast break here. A quick pass, a great catch. I mean, when we talk about low-angle shots, I think that's about 0 degrees right there. Like, he might as well have been behind the goal at that point. There is no reason to take that shot. You've got to be patient. But immediately goes back the other way, and white score.
I mean, that is painting the picture of how this game has gone. We see one of the lowest angle shots I've ever seen in my life. An easy save for the goalie that allows them to push it back up. And instead of staying low and instead of trying to take a rush pass, they make 2 good passes on a fast break, textbook execution, and a good scoring opportunity. I can't stress the difference between those 2 shots right there. A low angle, bad shot. I mean, talk about acute. That was 1 degree. I'm not sure I could hit that shot, you know, with nobody on me and no goalie. And conversely, it leads back to a 1-on-none. So credit to Bramble for taking that opportunity and executing.
Yeah, I mean, it's so far out as well. Like, when you're that far out and the goalie is there would literally, you can't see the net. All you see is goalie. So I don't know what he was aiming at, because it went straight to the goalie's stick, so maybe that's what he was aiming for. He saw the goalie's net and thought, I'll shoot into that. But yeah, and it was a great fast break and a much better opportunity for Bramble to get that. And really, it really highlights the benefit of, if the fast break isn't on, just keep the ball. Don't take a shot, just keep the ball and settle it.
I hope Bramble learns from that how good 2 passes, how good of a look you can get after just 2 passes. So I hope that they take that and learn, as we see that the Tricksters, who are still up 2-1, by the way, let's not pretend like they haven't scored 2 on their own. As we see a force feed to the crease and a good soak by the defender. But let's hope that that's a spark that gets Bramble more points in the next couple minutes.
Just under 5 minutes left, yeah, and that was great hustle there. It was a shot as it came off the helmet and going off the sideline, and it was great hustle to keep the ball in, and it's paid dividends, because from that hustle, they've got a goal.
And that is a game-changing momentum play. Anytime that you end up scoring a goal because of a hustle play, that matters so much more than a stick work play or a good shot or something like that. And honestly, like, having been a part of a lot of teams, those hustle plays, granted, the benches are a little thin here. I'm not going to pretend like the Tricksters have 50 guys sitting on the bench, but that's something that you can rally around for the rest of the game.
Absolutely. There's nothing more hype than great hustle to get the ball, keep the ball, and then you score from it. I mean, that's the dream. Like, not just any goal, but the hustle goal, as you say, is ideal.
The dream is not playing and sitting and having a beer and commentating. That's the dream. But the number 2 dream is that hustle play.
Oh, yeah. I stand corrected. You are absolutely right. We love hustle. I mean, hustle in general is essential. Like, if you're not going to hustle, why are you here? Why are you playing? It's all about hustle. Even when you're subbing off on the bench, if you're sprinting for that sub and it gives you a tiny advantage, it is worth hustling for.
Yep.
And in lacrosse, you can do that. You've got the bench. You've got the dynamic substitutions. You can just run up, run down, make a sub. We are being inundated with beers here, but I am not complaining whatsoever. We are now double parking. A good save by Orange.
And 15 with the shot. First off, number 15 has been an absolute pleasure. He's one of the bigger personalities as he goes and hits a guy right.
Oh, wow. I have no idea how he just kept that ball, but they just gave it back to him. They keep giving the ball back. It keeps bouncing off a white stick and going back to Orange. This is incredible.
Honestly, there's chaos and then there's beautiful chaos. That was beautiful chaos as we see a good dodging opportunity from 18 right here. Let's see if he takes it.
Oh, the swim and then the bounce shot into the top left corner. That was a beautiful goal, and I think that might just be the game. I really cannot see a way back here for Bumble.
2 minutes left. That should be the nail in the coffin for this game, and one of the things that I'd like to call out is an individual effort from 18. Knowing that he had the short stick, he is a tall, athletic player. That first dodge, the swim move didn't quite work, but he kept his momentum going, and what a placement where he goes over the top jump shot. Tall players shooting overhand is one of the toughest things that a goalie can stop. So his overhand bounce shot is a nightmare as we see potential.
No, there is a loose ball. We're not sure who can come up with it yet. I mean, White just don't seem to want to pick up the ball. They're just playing hockey at this point. And soccer. They're just kicking the ball, slapping the ball. No one wants to scoop it up and play it across.
They're doing everything. I feel like I was just watching a youth hockey game or a youth soccer game right there. And that's the biggest difference between good and great lacrosse teams is, are you getting the ball off of the ground? Are you taking the time to scoop up the ball, or are you just trying to kick it over the half line? You know, that's just, it's frustrating to watch.
Yeah, and actually I find, I think we got a timeout by White. There's only a minute left. We just have the 1 minute call. White have called a timeout. I think it is 4-1. They're 3 goals down. It's going to take a miracle for them to get back. But going back to the ground ball thing, I think it takes a certain amount of not just confidence, but being willing to put your body on the line to scoop up, because when you bend down to scoop up a ground ball, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position to take a hit that could send you flying. But you've got to be willing to take that, take that chance to get the ball and put your body on the line. And I think that's what perhaps some players don't get used to, is those aggressive ground balls. You see it from face-off guys, they're constantly doing that, where they are getting the ball in a very tight situation and they're running out with it. And a lot of players might pick up the ground ball and just stand there and not just run into the whatever light they can see. It's like a tunnel. You just have to go into the light. You have to go into the space. Doesn't matter which direction you're going, you have to find it.
Well, and it's interesting too. I mean, I feel like we saw it in the women's game better, where number 50 for Byrne scooping up a ground ball, running fast, and it being a goal was the perfect example of what we're talking about, where it's like, listen, you can kick the ball, which might result in something good, might result in something bad, or you can scoop it up, run, have your eyes up, and let's see if Bramble can take advantage. Wow!
And they do. A goal by 1-6 on the run, hits it bottom left, just high to low. A great finish, and now it's a 2-goal game.
I was just going to say, if there is any chance for them to come back, they need a goal quickly. That's exactly what they just did. It's now 4-2, 2-goal game with 30 seconds left. They need another quick one. They need to score with, I would say, about 10 seconds left at least. Let's see what happens on this face-off. Very crucial. I would hope that the Tricksters get in and prevent something, but let's see some fireworks. Let's see some magic.
Yeah, let's see what happens, because if they do get another chance here, they have to take it. It's the only chance they have. They need to win this face-off, and they need to go. But Tricksters come up with it, and our hopes of a great story are possibly dashed immediately. We were hyping it up, but I think they're just going to keep the ball here. He runs it to the corner. He's just going to keep that ball. With a short stick on that ball, it's very hard to get it out. And they're just going to run down that clock. There's 10 seconds left, and that will be the game. There was a glimmer of hope right at the end, but it needed a face-off. It needed a good opportunity, even with the stopping clock in the last 30 seconds. And that's the game time.
And that will do it on what is, I would say, a pretty sloppy game, but again, some great individual performances and some good players representing their countries and their team. Honestly, it just came down to who was going to settle it down, who was going to do it first. And honestly, you know, the Tricksters just took the opportunities better with overhand shots, better angles. But I would say that game was a coin toss, maybe from the very beginning all the way to the very end. As far as who was going to take that first step, happened to be the Tricksters.
Yeah, and you have to say, but I'm going to probably be disappointed because the Tricksters didn't play their best game. They weren't incredible. They just made it happen. You know, so they had the chances to win, and they had the chances to score, but they didn't take them, and that's why they're losing by 2 goals.